Guys, I am so excited to bring you to today's episode because it has crime, and more crime. And you know what they say, crime pays for me on YouTube. I'm Brandon Perna, a reformed convict turned legal expert and part-time private detective. This week's NFL legal updates include three, not one, not two, but three players from the Browns getting robbed. Chiefsaholic is still on the lam and is now on KC's most wanted list, probably behind Jackson Mahomes. Shannon Sharpe announced he had a giant cancerous tumor removed, and that tumor's name was Skip Bayless, and a Colt is now in hot water for betting on NFL games. Buff? Bundle? Buff Grundle? No, Buff Bundle. Today's episode is sponsored by manscaped.com/goodsports and their Buff Bundle. Now, maybe you're one of those men who have hairless bodies, or you've already purchased Manscaped's Lawnmower 4.0 and their new beard trimmer for all of your body hair grooming needs. Well, I highly recommend the Buff Bundle to cleanse your smooth body, which includes 2 bottles of their powerful body wash and the body buffer. Ditch your disgusting loofah or washcloth, which harbor bacteria and famunda cheese, and get the antibacterial silicone scrubber to nourish, clean, and exfoliate your skin and body. Manscaped's body wash is all I've used for the last couple years, and my wife Jess was constantly snaking it and leaving it at the tub, which is why I now always have at least 2 bottles. Guess what? 2 bottles come with the Buff Bundle, so use my link below, manscaped.com/goodsports for 20% off and free shipping with your cruelty-free, dye-free body wash and buffer. Let's start with Colts corner Isaiah Rodgers, who is the newest NFL player to be under investigation for sports betting. Now, this news dropped yesterday, and it came a week or so after it was hinted more players could be suspended for sports betting. If you recall, 5 total players, 4 Detroit Lions were already suspended this offseason. Quintez Cephas, CJ Moore, done for all of 2023 after betting on NFL games. And the weird part of that story, Stanley Berryhill and Jamison Williams suspended 6 games for betting on college games, but placing those bets while at a team facility. Now, where a player places their bet on another league is irrelevant. I think their suspensions are ridiculous. Calvin Ridley, though, was made an example of in 2022, as he was suspended all season, not being allowed to play after he was caught betting on a game he didn't play in. Now, it seemed harsh at the time, but the message still wasn't received. Isaiah Rodgers, who will certainly be suspended all season, already issued this apology on Twitter. Rodgers' apology seemed a little contrived, considering he opened his betting account under the name of an associate. Roughly 100 bets were placed, including bets on the Colts in the range of $25 to $50. Guys risking literally millions in salary, or high hundreds of thousands, for $50 bets is some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. I know Rodgers isn't the only guy doing this, though. And unlike marijuana use, which I defended for years, there's absolutely no benefit for any player to do this. My advice, quit being so fucking stupid. Especially if you're a 6th round player like Rodgers, and you will have to fight every day for your damn job. Remember when Andrew Luck was the Colts quarterback, and we roasted him for using a flip phone? Well, maybe all players should only have flip phones so they can't make any bets on any NFL games. Luck might have been ahead of his time. Now, Xavier Babador, aka Mouse Rat, aka Chiefsaholic, is on the Kansas City Crime Stars Most Wanted list. While this is not the official FBI wanted list, he joins a group of men who have been accused of murder, distribution of fentanyl, sexual assault, and domestic abuse. Take out the fentanyl, and those could just be members of the Chiefs. If you are unfamiliar, the reason Chiefsaholic has a warrant out for his arrest with $1 million bond is because he is accused of robbing a bank in Oklahoma. That alleged crime took place all the way back in December. We've covered it here. But the bank teller who Mouse Rat robbed was named Peyton Garcia. Chiefs robbing a Peyton? It's usually the other way around. But according to the New York Post, Peyton was very opposed to Mouse Rat's bail and release when police had him in custody. And at this point, with Mouse Rat, I'm a little surprised authorities have yet to try placing a wedge of cheese in a spring-loaded trap. Now, Peyton, the person who was robbed, stated, "I am shocked that the district attorney and judges allowed this criminal out on bail after robbing a bank. That day changed my life. I have never feared for my life like that before." That's important. I think a lot of us sort of are rooting for Chiefsaholic in a weird way. Big deal, he robbed a giant evil bank, steal from the rich so you can bet on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes to win MVP. Which, according to deleted tweets and bet slips, is exactly what Chiefsaholic did. And maybe he did it with that bank money, or maybe he posted bail with his winnings. Either way, according to those tweets, he had $110,000 in winnings to collect. So it wasn't a giant bank, there was a person there, and it was also a teacher's credit union that he robbed, and it was clearly pretty fucking scary for Peyton Garcia. Now, since posting bail, he's removed his ankle monitor and has been on the run. That's why he's on the wanted list, failure to appear in court for bank robbery, and now he has a felony charge tacked on to the robbery charges for removing the monitor. For every month he remains free, Chiefsaholic should send Patrick Mahomes a thank you note, as Patrick Mahomes prevented Travis Kelce from revealing where Chiefsaholic is hiding when the Chiefs visited the White House.
So I've been waiting for this.
Sorry.
Just give Mahomes the Medal of Honor, too. Is that what they give it for? Shannon Sharpe accepted a buyout from FS1 and is leaving his co-host Skip Bayless in the show Undisputed. Now, according to reports made by me, Sharpe allegedly got tired of working with the child.
It is my turn now. And here's what really happened last night. Baloney! It's the biggest bunch of baloney you've ever spewed. Matthew Stafford. Guess what Matthew Stafford had in the second half? It's my turn.
That's childish.
Now, we all know why Sharpe left the show, right? He's far more talented than Skip, has a better personality, and actually makes intriguing arguments. He was a caged bird on that show, in my opinion.
I think the thing is that Skip and that I conveyed to Skip is that, look, we can disagree, but I want to color between the lines. I don't want the disagreement to go outside of the lines and where it becomes...
And you thought there for a little while it did?
Yeah, I did. I think everybody thought that.
And he's already liked a tweet calling Bayless a piece of shit. I literally don't know a single person on earth who is a Skip Bayless fan. These hot take artists, though, have mastered getting hate clicks. Sharpe outgrew that, and it became apparent over the last year when he didn't show up for the show the night after Skip tweeted this about the Bills-Bengals game when Damar Hamlin nearly died in front of all of our eyes. And when he did show up, Skip wouldn't even let him talk.
And although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Now, Sharpe apparently also wanted equal say on what topics would be discussed during the show, which any good co-host would gladly welcome, but Skip did not. Skip is an insecure, tiny little man who is somehow beloved by the suits at Fox. If they were smart, they would have canned Skip and given Sharpe a worthy co-host. Skip was also making twice the money as Sharpe, $6 million to Shannon's $3 million. Sharpe already has his own show.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Club Shay Shay. I am the host, also the proprietor of Club Shay Shay.
And I hope he just doubles down on that, focuses his energy onto that show. He's got 1.19 million subs for that show on YouTube, and if that's his main focus, he can probably get the next McAfee deal. Now, LaShawn McCoy is being floated as a possible replacement for Sharpe, and while I love that McCoy defended the Nuggets recently, I hope he sees that he will be used as a pawn for Skip. Although I do kind of like the irony of a guy named Shady sitting across from the actual man who is shady as fuck. Nick Wright has also emerged as a candidate to replace Sharpe as well. Please do that, Fox. it would be fitting to see the two most annoying men in sports sit across from each other. Eventually, either Skip or Nick will consume the other, and we'll only have to deal with one of them. But until then, I can't wait to have two guys on one show who both hate Nikola Jokic. And the main story, 3 Cleveland Browns robbed. According to a police report, 6 masked men robbed corner Greg Newsome and defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey at gunpoint. Per ESPN, the 2 players left a Cleveland nightclub early Monday morning. When they got to Newsome's truck in a nearby parking lot, 6 masked men jumped out of an unknown car and robbed them at gunpoint at 3:30 a.m. In addition to stealing jewelry, the suspects fled in Newsome's truck. I think 6 is the minimum number of men required to rob a 291-pound NFL defensive tackle. What kind of world do we live in where you're not safe standing next to a 6'4", 291-pound athlete? The good news, Newsome and Winfrey were not hurt during the robbery. That was incident number 1, as running back Demetric Felton had his car stolen out of the garage of his apartment building as well. That's 2 Browns vehicles stolen over the same weekend. Greg Newsome tweeted, "It's a cruel world we live in," and that was just a day after the robbery occurred. Again, it wasn't just Newsome's car that was stolen, he was also robbed of jewelry. And while the total value of the jewelry hasn't been released, he was in possession of a promise ring. A promise ring he was planning to give to Deshaun Watson, in hopes of Watson promising to not fucking suck so bad again this upcoming season. Speaking of, Deshaun Watson actually had his truck stolen all the way back in January.
Thieves who stole 5 cars from a local car dealership. One of the vehicles, a truck belonging to Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson.
But that was initially chalked up as karma by Cleveland police, filed under the karma reports. With both Newsome and Felton's cars getting stolen this weekend, there's growing belief that Browns players are being targeted by a potential crime ring. One suspect has emerged as a possible leader of the syndicate. Oh dear God. Newsome said he thought the robber might be Chiefsaholic when he kept saying, "Dan Sorensen didn't lead with his helmet. Dan Sorensen didn't lead with his helmet. Dirty Dan didn't do anything wrong." Also, the wolf mask was a giveaway. Wait, you know who else was in Cleveland this last weekend? My co-host on our thrice weekly show GPS, Tom Grossi.
We're running through the airport. Our flight leaves in 20 minutes.
Oh my God, did Tom rob the Cleveland Browns in the name of charity? Probably not. Make sure you're following Tom this month. He's visiting all 30 NFL stadiums in 30 days on his YouTube channel. Make sure you show him some love. He's raising money for St. Jude's Hospital, so he's doing good. And it's been pretty cool to watch the journey. DeAndre Hopkins is still a free agent, and he's been linked to the Cleveland Browns. They're emerging as a likely landing spot for D-Hop, but Hopkins now is asking to have a clause in his contract that states, "I need all of the people living in Cleveland to promise to never fucking rob me before I agree to play for the Browns." Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here. Check out my Eli Manning and Drew Brees shootout video. It was a fun recap of an amazing game that nobody's watching. It's tanking. But it's a good video. Why do the ones I like the most suck the hardest?